Oh, I am. I think we're ready. Great, thank you. Well, thanks for inviting us, and I'll try to be quick. So we've been rolling out smart. See what my video. We've been rolling out smart for a couple of years now, using it in the northern areas in a couple of national parks, with essentially a focus on snow leopards. Um, so it's kind of got three kind of scopes. So this is one national park we're rolling out. It's about 900 square miles of hilly terrain up in the Gilgit-Baltistan area. The main focus is obviously to get data, improve the data and get standardized data, not only for wildlife, but for violation and threats. And as I said earlier, focus on snow leopards. And of course, there's an additional I think pushback because it is very tech based. This is completely new to us, let alone rangers and wildlife department. Integrating that into kind of a larger picture of managing and monitoring wildlife is something which is part of the kind of the program we started with. And then using this, so a lot of our parks are co-managed or the community-based watcher or game ranger, or, so integrating that into kind of a quasi kind of citizen science application, and getting communities involved, getting communities to use this application is a good way of actually kind of bringing them to a level kind of playing field when it comes to co-management. Bit of a background: we started talking about snow leopard conservation back in 2017. We developed a strategy. The year after, we had quite an intensive training in 18 and 19. But so 18, we talked about how it could be used. We selected, so we means all the departments, provincial wildlife departments across Pakistan, not just northern areas, selected 15 protected areas. We had a very intensive smart piloting in 2018 and 19 in one of the national parks. We are a bit kind of restricted in funding. We don't have huge snow leopard funding, unfortunately. But then they started to actually use this in Khondrab National Park, and kind of adopted it. And I'll just show you a bit of how they used it, what they used it for, and then finally kind of some of the issues which we saw, or lessons learned, I would say, that need to be integrated into not only the software, but also rolling it out. And everyone knows, it's been said, it's a software. It's open share, it's open source. Not one organization owns it, so it's really good. But it's quite equipment heavy, it's tech heavy. So you need mobile phones, you need a server, and you need people to actually understand what is needed when collecting data, and more importantly, how to use that data. And we found that those two aspects were easier said than done. We had quite a few glitches of linking the data to the database and how to use it. When it did happen, it was really good. We got the maps. I think one thing which rangers and wildlife watchers really saw the additional benefit to this was being able to record and improve their effort. Because these guys are going out, and girls are going out into the field for weeks on end. There's nothing but a backpack and goodwill of the community to look after them. So having that, a very simple tool to show where they've been and what they've done, was really incentive for a lot of the staff to adopt this. So initially it was well received. Some of the technology or some of the software teething problems kind of set us back a bit, but overall we've seen a positive uptake of the software and of the application and of the concept. So 24 rangers have this at the moment. We are trying to get more resources to give to go out to more parks. Some governments are recognizing it as a useful tool, investing themselves, but still not to the level which we would like to see. It's very important that it's not just used as a standalone tool. It has to be integrated into parks, park management. I think we've already heard about how important it is to understand it's a tool. It's not a means to end all. It has to be part of the policy, has to be part of the management approach, and only then can it be used for kind of really be used as an effective tool for the rangers, and also more importantly for the park managers to use that. And then so if we look at the group to the if you look at what is available, I think because it's so versatile, it can be used across different departments. So inter-department coordination, so fisheries department, even tourism department. So it's important you get that kind of framework right at the beginning, so that they understand what can be what data can be used for and how it can help other departments. So in Condrab, there's 170 kind of data sets so far. A lot of violations recorded. As I said, focus on snow leopard, but it's also been used for grey wolves, for ibex, for other ungulates, and rodent species such as cape hare. So you can see some of the data we're getting out of there. Very useful. Just getting that data in itself is a great start for some of these parks. So what is useful? I mean, I thought someone mentioned livestock. So we use it for everything, for grazing, for poaching and hunting, for non-timber forest product collection, wood cutting, solid waste issues, because a lot of these parks have a very high footfall of tourism. So it's good to be able to show where those hotspots of solid waste issues are, livestock deprecation, human-wildlife conflict, and also fishing. A lot of these parks have water bodies, they have rivers going through them. So using that to record fishing, illegal or not illegal fishing, helps other departments build up a picture of what's going on and where people are going for these activities. And it's supplemented by community-based wildlife sightings, and that goes into the reporting mechanism. Very important to get community involved in that. And that's where you can really start to build up data sets, because most parks have limited staff, but the communities are living around the parks. A lot of them have traditional rights and access to the parks. So they're the ones who your eyes and your ears on the ground 24/7. So this is perhaps the most important slide, what we learned. It's like anything, any technology, any kind of learning curve, you have to keep on refreshing staff trainings, because the software is updated, staff retire, they're transferred to parks. So you need to keep that constant link with the park staff, the managers, and whoever's looking after the database, and keep that just ticking over, so that if there are issues, you can kind of preempt them getting out of hand and stuff, software not being used. We had a lot of issues with the interface between the mobile phone and uploading into the database. I don't know if it's because of the type of phone or because of the GPS. Every country will have its own kind of peculiarities in Wi-Fi and mobile internet technology, and that was a real challenge for us to continuously go back and do all this, because we're not smart experts. We know how to sell it, but we had to keep on going back to people in Singapore and Hong Kong and all over the world. That's challenging and time consuming, and you really have to make sure that you respond quickly and sort it out so that there's no break. So hopefully now we're going to scale it up. There are now departments who have officially, or parks which have officially adopted the software, which is really good. they realize the not only the usefulness but the importance of having this integrated into their management system. And then we want to enhance that community engagement. So we do know that snow leopards are still being poached as retaliation. And sometimes the lag time between something happening and getting news to us or to the managers is really quite big, quite long, and that's always difficult to manage a reaction. So having, if now most of the northern areas are covered with mobile coverage, so pushing this to a kind of as I said earlier, the quasi kind of citizen science approach that anybody can, even a tourist perhaps, go into the northern areas, sees a snow leopard. And it happens a lot. You know, people are just up there and there's snow leopards moving around and they see it. That's so important to get an idea and use people's kind of interest in wildlife, and then it kind of in return they also feel that they're contributing something to the snow leopard conservation, which, you know, is a really good thing when you're trying to kind of get a movement behind the species. So I think that is it. I'm more than willing to take any questions. And again, thank you for inviting us, and I hope this was helpful.